Hey, what's up guys? Dave here for the Reptile Channel HerpersTV. So, a couple of weeks ago I was in Florida for Iguana Fest. It was an absolute blast, and you can see all the videos on my other channel. I've put the link in the comments below, so check that out as well. But while I was at Iguana Fest, I met Austin Curtis, and he was telling me all about his day gecko programs that he's working with, but there was a catch to it. All his day geckos are wild caught because they're invasive in southern Florida and in the Keys. And I thought, I've got to go over there and check this out. So the next day I went over with my camera crew and filmed this episode on Austin's day geckos. Just such an incredible collection. Day geckos are so underrated, and they don't have to be. They're such cool lizards. So let's go check this thing out here on Rainbow Mealworms presents the Reptile Channel Hobby Breeders.
My name's Austin Curtis, and this is my day gecko collection. I keep many different species of Phelsuma and many other geckos like tokays, cresteds, and gargoyles. I live in Lehigh Acres, Florida. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. All of these Phelsuma out here were wild caught here. They are invasive in Florida. And my goal is to bring as many as I can out of the wild to help Florida's ecosystem, and help produce different strains and morphs of Phelsuma in captivity, because we are finding new morphs and different patterns and colorations down in the Keys still. I have many wild-caught day geckos here. I have gold dust that are wild-caught, giant days, and standingies. Most of these geckos were pulled out of the Keys, the giants. They've been invasive in the Keys and the southern Florida area for at least 10 plus years now. Most of these are wild caught, and I have a few patternless specimens that nobody has really seen or been able to produce other patternless. So that's one of my special projects that I'm working on. I also deal with wild caught gold dust day geckos from the Hawaii Islands, and they produce unusually blue babies, I'm noticing. So I'm gonna keep line breeding those guys and see what I can produce in the future. These are my gold dust day geckos. I have a trio in here, 1 male, 2 females. These guys grow up to about 4 to 5 inches, maybe 6. Obviously the males usually get larger. These I'm working on producing higher blue animals. As you can see, the blue feet, blue eyes, that's normal, but a few of the babies have produced unusually blue coloration. Gold dust day geckos come from the northwest part of Madagascar. They like it humid, they're very fast, and they're mostly insectivores, but they will eat nectar from fruits, flowers, stuff like that. They like the sweet stuff. These are my giant day geckos. This is my patternless project that I'm working with. These are from the northern part of Madagascar. They have made their way to neighboring islands, and obviously they're invasive in South Florida and the Florida Keys. They're very sociable animals. They're not as skittish as everybody thinks they are. You can work with them and physically interact with them. I've been working with these guys for a few months now, and they have become accustomed to me to the point that they will jump out on my arm and eat mealworms and greet me at the door when I bring food. These are my Phelsuma standingi, or standings day geckos. They're from southwestern Madagascar, from the thorn forests. They're in a more dry climate than you would find Phelsuma grandis. They're a larger species of Phelsuma. They get about 10 inches, maybe 11. They have a almost highlighter yellow head that turns into a slate gray, bluish tail, and they're very beautiful. Basic day gecko care for many species is very similar. You're gonna need UVB, heat lamps. They like it in the higher 80s, low 90s. They can cool down to quite a low temperature, and you actually do have to cool them for breeding. I obviously keep mine outdoors, so I don't have to use artificial UVB lighting, but not everybody is this lucky. So I feed them a variety of food. I feed them Pangea gecko diet. I feed them fresh fruits, mashed bananas, mangoes. I feed them insects like supers, crickets, roaches. I like to give all my animals a varied diet. And that's really about it. They're very simple creatures to take care of. All they need is light, heat, water, and food. All right, we're in my gecko room. I keep most of my Rhacodactylus species, crested geckos, stuff that needs to be in cooler temperatures. But I also do keep some of my younger Phelsuma in here, and I raise them up inside this room. I also incubate all my eggs in this room and in the closet behind me. These are fresh hatched Phelsuma laticata or gold dust day geckos. They hatched about a week ago. As you can see, these are the eggs that these little laticata just hatched out of. They are very, very small. This is where I incubate most of my Phelsuma eggs. These are the laticata eggs I still have left to hatch, with more still being laid every couple months. This one looks like it has gone bad. It was a single laid egg, so usually that means they're infertile because most of the time they lay two stuck together, or some species will glue them to the walls and surfaces of their cage. Incubation for gold dust day geckos is 40 to 45 days, but this year I have experienced them going 2-3 days over the 45-day mark, and I have done nothing different, so I'm not sure what's going on this year, but it's not totally uncommon. I incubate my eggs from 80 to 82 degrees. I like a fluctuation there between those temperatures because then you have a better mix of male-female ratio. Under 80, you have a higher chance of females, and above 82, you have a higher chance of males. So I like to incubate in the middle so I get an even ratio. The future will hold many more day gecko species. I will specialize in grandis mostly. I am moving more into Rhacodactylus, so you will see leechies in the future and other New Caledonian species. So keep an eye out and watch CBD Reptiles Facebook page and keep looking for updates.